absorb the knowledge that is there in that particular book. हेलो हेलो हाँ हाँ मैं आ रहा हूँ भैया, वहीं पे रहो, मैं आता हूँ, 5 मिनट दो मेरे को। अरे भाई। Hi everyone, I'm Ishan Sharma. So yesterday I had a friend of mine who just reached out to me saying that, hey Ishan, I want to get into the habit of reading, but मुझसे हो नहीं पा रहा है. I'm just not able to concentrate, to focus, to sit throughout the book. And I thought, what better way to reply to him than by making a video in which I could share my tips with you people as well. You know, reading is something that has been instrumental in the last 2 years that I have been able to, learn to communicate better. And so I think it's a really interesting habit that everyone should at least learn to read at least 1 or 2 books every single month. And if you do that consistently, you will be able to have tremendous insight into your own industry that you are working in. So long story short, in this video, we'll be talking about 3 simple hacks that you can use that will help you get started with reading books and possibly even read a lot more books than what you currently are. First, the most important rule is that you need to read what you love until you love to read. Most of us, whenever we get into the habit of reading, we search for the best-selling books and we press enter and we get the top 1 to 3 books that are the most selling right now. While that is a good strategy if you want to understand what the majority thinks is a great book, what you should think about is what are your interests particularly, right? तो जैसे कि जो मेरा दोस्त था उसको मैंने पूछा कि what do you like to read? Like what interests you? तो उसने बोला कि यार मेरे को बिजनेस केस स्टडी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगती है. लाइक मेरे को जानना है कि एक बिजनेस ने चैलेंजेस कैसे ओवरकम किए एंड हाउ डिड दे गेन मार्केट शेयर, हाउ डिड दे एक्वायर यूजर्स, हाउ डिड दे बिकम प्रॉफिटेबल. सो दैट इज व्हाट ही लाइक्ड. सो देन आई जस्ट टोल्ड हिम कि इफ यू लाइक दैट देन यू शुड रीड बुक्स दैट आर अराउंड दैट स्पेस. यू शुड फाइंड दोज books. These might not be the hot selling books, but these will be the books that you would enjoy reading. And that was a eureka moment for him. So always make sure that you find out what topics are interesting to you. If you love watching cricket all day long, then maybe you should be reading books that are about cricket, or maybe are autobiographies of the famous cricket players. Just a simple example, right? If you are maybe into science fiction, then you should read books in that genre. You won't feel the lethargy when you are going through a book. You would feel excited क्योंकि ये चीज आपको एक्चुअल में पसंद है. एंड दिस इज नॉट समथिंग जो किसी आपको रैंडम यूट्यूब वीडियो में बोला है कि ये 5 बुक पढ़ लो मजा आ जाएगा एंड that sort of stuff. You would actually find that intriguing and you would continue reading the book, right? That's number 1 tip that you should always keep in mind. Read what you love until you love to read. Number 2, always make sure that you start with a book that has an easy vocabulary and that is comparatively thin, right? बहुत सारे लोग कुछ कॉम्प्लेक्स ही किताब उठा लेते हैं. लाइक इवन इफ यू गो इनटू फाइनेंस, राइट, एवरीवन ट्राइज टू गो फॉर दैट इंटेलिजेंट इन्वेस्टर बुक. वो किताब फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बहुत मोटी सी किताब है एंड उसमें जो लैंग्वेज यूज करी है दैट इज फार मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड देन द सिंपलर बुक्स दैट यू कैन गेट स्टार्टेड विद. सो जस्ट अ वेरी सिंपल रूल ऑफ थंब, राइट? इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि उसने लिखा क्या है ऑथर ने, एंड इफ यू हैव टू अगेन एंड अगेन गो बैक टू द डिक्शनरी, दैट इज जस्ट गोइंग टू एड मोर फ्रिक्शन इन योर एक्सपीरियंस. सो बिकॉज you are just getting started with reading, it's much better if you pick books that are comparatively thinner and have easy vocabulary that you can understand without the need to constantly check up on the meaning of the words or what exactly is the author trying to portray. So that is going to be tip number 2. Tip number 3 is going to be find a space where you can go to and find a time which suits you every single day, and that will create a habit loop for you. एक बहुत अच्छी book है called as Atomic Habits, जिसके अंदर वो बोलते हैं कि you need to create a loop for yourself, जहां पर you first of all have a trigger point. After the trigger point, you have that actual activity and at the end you have the reward. So if you can create a routine that ठीक है, हर दिन मैं अपने डेस्क पे बैठूंगा शाम को 6:30 बजे और मैं 1 घंटे के लिए ये किताब को पढ़ने की कोशिश करूंगा, and this simple activity will set in motion a trigger point for you. तो आप जब भी बैठोगे शाम को अपनी टेबल पे, you would immediately think about that thing कि यार मुझे किताब रीड करनी है. So if you can create that trigger, then that would be much better for you. Also, the last tip for all of you people who are still watching till the end, first of all, thank you so much. अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आ रही हो तो make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel as well. The last tip is going to be the fact that most people read a book, but that's just a one-way activity. I think that reading should be much more than just, going through the pages. What you should focus on is reading and reflecting. So a big chunk of your time should go into understanding what the author has said and then reflecting back on how that relates to your own life. So the more you can do that, the more you will be able to actually grasp कि उसने बोला क्या है author ने. There is no hurry. And आप देखते होगे कि भाई world's biggest CEOs read one book every single week, तो आपको भी वो पढ़ना पड़ेगा, but ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, right? You should not be comparing yourself and your ability to read books with someone who is far ahead in their life. So आपको क्या करना है, आपको सिंपली एक किताब का, लेट्स जस्ट से यू रीड 10 पेजेस, राइट? पहले दिन में आपने 10 पेजेस पढ़े, आपने उसके नोट्स बनाए या फिर आपने उस पर रिफ्लेक्ट किया इन जनरल. यू वेंट आउट फॉर अ वॉक एंड यू रिफ्लेक्टेड अपॉन व्हाट डिड द ऑथर रियली ट्राई टू कम्युनिकेट इन दिस 10 पेजेस एंड देन यू ट्राई टू सी हाउ कैन यू implement it in your own life. When you will do this, you will be able to actually, absorb the knowledge that is there in that particular book. So these were my 3 tips and the bonus one at the end that will help you read better and actually absorb. बहुत बार आपको लगता हो कि आपने कोई किताब पढ़ तो ली है, but आपने उसको एक्चुअल में उसकी नॉलेज को imbibe नहीं किया है. And a big reason for that is because you are not reflecting back. You are not noting down the learnings that you've had from a book. हर इंसान एक चीज को देख करके, किताब या फिर मूवी को देख करके, they have their own perspective. And if you can just note that perspective in your Google Keep या फिर कोई डॉक्स वाले ऐप पे या फिर सिंपली नोशन पे जाके आपने लिख लिया कि अच्छा मैंने आज इस किताब के इस चैप्टर से ये चीज सीखी और मुझे इससे ये समझ में आया एंड दिस इज हाउ इट रिलेट्स टू माय लाइफ, दैट विल बी मच बेटर फॉर यू. दैट इज ऑल आई वांट टू शेयर विद यू टुडे. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई हो तो मेक श्योर कि आप कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख के बताओ व्हाट डिड यू लाइक अबाउट दिस बुक, व्हाट बुक आर यू रीडिंग राइट नाउ. लेट मी नो अबाउट दैट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन एज वेल. थैंक यू सो मच. हिट द लाइक बटन. आई विल बी कमिंग अप विद मोर इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियोज एंड ऑल आई आस्क फॉर इज योर सपोर्ट एंड आई विश you all the best. Thank you so much. You can follow me on Instagram at Ishan Sharma 790. I'll catch you in the next one.